Hello and welcome to SudoKanard. We are here to solve this Read the Room Sudoku by British author David McNeill. The puzzle was featured in the latest Sudoku Grand Prix, and it was only worth 37 points, and I remember it really solves well. So the rule is very unusual. So for every 3x3 block like this, you have to apply exactly one of two rules that are incompatible. Either you apply the standard non-consecutive rule, which means that two neighboring cells can't have consecutive digits, or you apply some kind of contrary rule, which is that every cell inside this region must have a neighboring cell with a consecutive digit inside the region. So let's begin. I'm seeing with the ones there that there is a 1 here. So if the rule inside this region is non-consecutive, then the 2 will have to go there. If the other rule applies, then the 2 will have to be somewhere here. But at this point, I don't think I can determine that, except that there are the 8s here, so that's an 8. And now this region is a consecutive region. And I will color this green, and I will use a pink for non-consecutive regions. So perhaps we can finish this region right now. So yes, 1 must be next to the 2. And here we must have 5, 6, and 7 in some order. And if I try to put the 5 here, then this becomes a 7, and 7 doesn't have a consecutive neighbor, so that doesn't work. So that 5 is here actually. And now any configuration of those two works. So that's a nice start. I'm seeing the 2s here. So those 2, which place a 2 somewhere in here. So now 1 is not next to the 2, so this region will be non-consecutive. So can we do something more precise? So the 6, perhaps not. I'm saying that this column still needs 2, 4, and 7, and actually the 7 goes there just by the rules of Sudoku, so that's the 2, that's the 4. 3 can't be next to the 4, can't be next to the 2, so 3 is somewhere in here. I still need to put 5, 6, and 8, but this can't be 6 or 8, so this is 3 or 5. This can't be 8 either, and actually 6 goes here. That can't be the 5. And here I need 5 and 8, and 8 is not next to the 9. So this is done. Here I need 5, 8, and 9. Here I need 2, 3, and 4. And actually, by the rules of Sudoku, 2 is here, which is nice because now 1 and 2 are consecutive. And actually, those 2 are consecutive. So the green rule is applying here. And seeing that the 5 in this column must be next to a consecutive digit, it can only be here. So that's a 9, that's an 8. And we have consecutive cells in here. So any configuration with 3 and 4 here will work. Oh, now those two 8s and this 8, they place the 8 here. So this region is also non-consecutive because 9 is not next to the 8. Here I need 1 and 6. Oh, and that's interesting because now I know that this region will follow the consecutive rule. If this is a 1, then it's next to the 2. If it's a 6, then it's next to the 7. So I can color this green, and I probably didn't need such a deduction, but I really like it, so why not use it? So now, well, how do we finish that? So 7 here is not there, it must be up there. 3 and 5 can't be next to the 4, so they must be in the corners. So now 7 is here. And this is 1 or 6. And I don't think I can find anything else at this point. Oh, sorry, there's a 1 here. So that's 6, that's the 1, that's the 6. And now, without the convoluted logic I mentioned earlier, we can find that this is a consecutive region. Now 1 must be next to the 2. It's already placed on this row, so 1 is here. On this row I need 3, 4, and 5. The 4 is in here, and any other neighbor works. Here we need 8, 9, and 3 or 5. 8 and 9 will be next to each other. And the interesting point is that 5 doesn't work here nor there, because it wouldn't have a consecutive neighbor. So 5 is here on this row, that's a 3. That's 4, that's 5. 3 will be next to the 2, and that's 8 or 9. This column needs 3, 5, and 9. So that's not a 5, that's not a 9. Is there anything really? Is there any easy deduction here? This row still needs 4, 6, 7, and 9, so those are from 4, 6, and 9. Actually, this is not a 9. And this is from 4, 7, and 9. Well, oh, this 2 goes there. And 1 and 2 are not neighbors, so this is a non-consecutive region. So that this is not a 9. And now this is a consecutive region. So 1 will be next to the 2, and because of this one, the 9 goes there. Let's look at this region again. That's not a 6 next to the 7. That's not a 4. Well, there's a 4 here. So this is 6 or 9, and both seem to work at this point. But 4 is in here, so that's not 4. And 7 or 9 next to the 8 is consecutive. So that's a consecutive region. And I'm seeing that 2 can be placed into this region. 2, sorry, but it's next to 1. 5 must have a consecutive neighbor, so this is 4 or 6. This now is from, well, actually down there, there has to be a 3. This is 4 or 6, but 6 here wouldn't have a consecutive neighbor, so that's 4, that's 6. This is 7 or 9. And it works. So what next? 5 is not in here, so it must be here together with some neighbor, which is 4 or 6. 3 must be somewhere here. It will have to be next to a consecutive digit. It could be here, or it could be here with a 4 next to it. I don't think I can really find. Oh, 5 and 6. 5 and 6 must be here in this column. So this is 7 or 9. But they are consecutive. That's the interesting point. And actually, I could also have deduced by plain Sudoku that 1 goes there. So it had to be consecutive anyway. There is a 4 somewhere in this column. Oh, and that's kind of interesting, because if I try to put 4 here, then this must be a consecutive neighbor, but 3 is no more available. So 4 goes there. And this is from 7, 8, 9. 3 now must be somewhere here, but next to a consecutive neighbor, so that's here. This is now 7 next to the 8, all right. This is from 8 and 9. So I think that 7 here doesn't work, because 7 here would make this a 9, and 9 would be isolated. So 7 is here. It can be next to 8, but it could be next to 6. Well, let's just put the 9, the 7, 6, 7 here. 4, 9, and 6, and 5 and 4, and 6 and 5. And now 7 must be next to the 8, which disambiguates this deadly pattern. Nice. And now the rest is just straightforward. And that's a 6, and 6 is indeed next to the consecutive 7 here. So really, a really fun puzzle, really fun variant. I should try someday to create something with this rule set. I really like it. Thanks for watching this video and see you soon on SudoKanard.